adjust and adapt to your environment real fast because you can't really, I mean, I know a lot of times people use the expression, they may take your kindness for weakness, but people see, like, I feel like humans are like dogs almost. They sense fear, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So
No
where I
doubt.
come from, you can't really dwell on losses. You can't really dwell on losing someone. You can't dwell on death. You can't really grieve because everybody going through it. So
Yeah.
you don't want, it's like you're not special in that sense. It's not, you're not the only person. You're not unique in that sense. Everybody is, you know what I'm saying? Is everybody experience death where I come from. So you can't go outside and cry. My brother passed away yesterday because somebody else's brother passed away, and you know what I'm saying, they may not know how to deal with that or grieve a certain way. So you could potentially lose your life just from grieving where I come from.
That's crazy. So it's almost like you become desensitized to it, like
Yeah,
because it's
a hundred
happening so
percent.
much around you.
100%. And that's why I named my album PTSD, because I thought I was normal. Everybody think they normal when you going through stuff. You know, when
Right.
you paranoid, you just think that's just a part of life. You think, oh yeah, if I go to the store, I could die, but that I'm not the only person, you know what I'm saying, that's going through this. So you are desensitized bad in a lot of ways. So that's why I named it PTSD, to bring awareness to it, not only for myself, but for so many others around me that, you know what I'm saying, can't really understand and can't really, you know what I'm saying, solve a lot of the problems that come with life. You know, I'm a firm believer that nothing is a coincidence in life, you know, so you got to just lean towards, you know what I'm saying, your problems, lean towards your fear, and just face whatever adversity put in front of you for the greater path that you have for yourself, you know. So that was important for me to do so, because I felt like I was helping millions of, you know, people.
Yo, listen, you are helping so many people. I don't even know if you realize it, but like your story is incredible and it's
Trying.
powerful. And like we need you. We need you so much.
Appreciate it, appreciate it. But
I
no,
want
it's
to ask
important.
you
It's
also.
just as important to the music as the music to me.
That's right. That's right. I want to ask you also, when did you, or if did you ever start seeing a therapist, and what was that experience like for you? Because you know, being able to overcome the discomfort of speaking about that trauma and just talking about mental health. Because you know, even for me, like when I was in the music game and I was like working with Outkast and all those guys and Goody Mob, like we had to talk about mental health. It wasn't a
Yeah.
cool thing to do. So like, when was it? When did you say like, you know, screw it, I'm just gonna tell my story?
I'm still kind of getting comfortable with doing so right now, you know. But I do have a therapist. I went to go see my therapist for the first time probably close to 2 years ago, a little over a year and a half ago. And it was hard. I didn't think that it was gonna be nothing that I would be interested in doing, or something that I even thought was for me, because I got a strong mind, I feel like. So it's like the stuff that I went through, I thought it was normal. I didn't really think I was suffering from, you know what I'm saying, a mental health disorder. I didn't think that any of this stuff was going on was wrong with me. I thought carrying a gun, all above, I thought it was normal because this is what was put in front of me.
Yeah,
Um, but I actually got arrested in Chicago about 2 years ago for a
yeah.
weapons charge. And it wasn't even a part of my conditions for, you know what I'm saying, court or anything like that. My lawyer just referred for me to try to go see a therapist, because I was telling her, like, even when I come back from Chicago to go to court, I'm still in fear of my life. So even if I have to hire security, 24-hour security, I still feel like I need to have a gun around me 24/7 just to ensure my
Mm-hmm.
safety. So it's
Mm-hmm.
not about a matter of guns or anything. I have to have these. I have to protect myself. You know what I'm saying? It's a
It's
matter
like you
of,
feel like you're in survival mode.
yeah, absolutely. As soon as I get back to Chicago, I snap right back into the same mentality. And you got to understand that you can't really judge somebody until you walk around in their skin, because who
True.
am I to not want to have the right to protect myself, to protect my life? I'm not going out to try to hurt anybody. But
Right.
anyway, when I went to go see my therapist for the first time, I was nervous, you know, to tell her a lot of the stuff that I've been through. But I think it helped me because it was somebody that could chime in and listen to your problems from a point of view that's never heard or seen any of these things. You know, my therapist, she in her mid-30s, she a white woman, and a lot of stuff I was telling her she never heard of. She never even thought that life existed for
Yeah.
kids this way. You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
was 14, 15, seeing murders right before my eyes. I got shot when I was 16 years old, and I came right back outside and put myself in these same environments again, because this was all that I knew. And I come
Mm-hmm.
from a two-parent household. I grew up with both of my parents, but when you go outside, the things that you endure on a day-to-day basis, they can't help you get through these obstacles, you know. Um, so just telling her a lot of stuff I've been through, I was nervous. I split my ID in half, just holding on to my ID. I didn't even
Wow.
realize what I was doing. I was just talking and
Yeah.
split my entire ID in half, just nervous, telling her a lot of stuff, because I didn't know if I was telling her anything that could incriminate me or anything
Understood.
like that, you know. So, But it was a good experience. One trip turned into 5 and so on and so forth. She helped me a lot though.
I'm really proud of you. That's dope. That's dope. The next thing I want to ask you is, I'm sure you've heard about the recent deaths of Ahmaud Arbery, and I'm
Yes.
glad that the people that killed him are now arrested. And you also have a son. Can you talk about how like anxiety and stress of being a Black man in America, and just seeing the constant images of like our boys getting killed either by
Yeah.
one another or by cops, how that can kind of like take a
Yeah.
toll on your mental psyche, like, and how important was it for you to set an example for your son to even protect his mental health? Because like you said, you grew up in a 2-parent household, but as soon
Yeah.
as you step outside, it's something different.
Yeah. Yeah. You can't really. I mean, you can't depend on your parents anymore at that point. And the first thing I took from seeing that footage and from that whole situation is it could have been me.
Mm-hmm.
Because he young, I'm young, and from their point of view, they probably just seeing a Black man. A lot of times they afraid of us. They seeing a Black man or whatever reasons, whatever demons they fight in their head for whatever reason. I felt like it could have been me, just in
Mm-hmm.
a neighborhood or at my mom's house, one of my aunt's house. I walk around all the time. I'm a normal guy at the end of the day. I know my status in life, but I don't really walk around like I'm a big celebrity or I'm a normal guy. So I do go walk around when I feel like it. I would go in the store by myself. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
the first thing I took from that is it could have been me, and you got to take that extra step just to make sure that your life is ensured at all times. Those are the reasons why I want to have a gun on me, to make sure that I'm protected at all times, because situations like that, it's not always something that had to do with being in a gang or street violence or anything like that. It's just ensuring that the next step you take, you're safe. And that's important for me, especially having a son, because that's who depend on me. I have a life that I have to cater to, you know what I'm saying? And
Mm-hmm.
every decision I make got to be strategic for the better of my son. So as a father, you would want to, just tell your son about these things, about the things that they may encounter in the world, So the older my son get, I'm gonna teach him about, what I'm saying, a lot of the stuff that's going on, and I don't want him to be naive to the fact that the world is an ugly place, and you got to move. So I move accordingly, knowing that the world is an ugly place. I move accordingly, knowing that every day I step out this house, that I could be killed, or I could be a victim of racial profiling. I could be a victim of police brutality, all of these things. And I take that into account with being a father, with being an artist, with just being a Black man, period. And I try to, what I'm saying, express this to as many people as possible. Nothing in life is a coincidence, like we got to get to the root of the problem. This is just a never ending cycle at this point. Ahmad isn't the first person that's came
Oh,
came to their demise by racial profiling or
we got
just
a
being at the
long way.
wrong place or the wrong time. You know what I'm saying? So it's not a coincidence. It's not something that we can ignore, and it's something that's important, especially being a Black man and a Black father out there.
That's right. No doubt. No doubt. And then equipping him with like the fact that therapy is not such a bad thing, right? And telling
Yeah.
our, Black boys and girls that, and it might not be for everybody, but for some people, it might actually help them
Yeah,
out,
we
right?
need that. It don't even have to be a professional therapist. We just need somebody to talk to and open up to and express ourselves to, because we all human, and everybody
Right.
and count everybody go through hurt. Everybody have problems. Nobody's perfect. You know what I'm saying? It don't
Right.
matter who it is. Drake, Jay-Z, everybody have problems in life. So you have to find a way to, what I'm saying, vent and let that escape, so it don't have to be a therapist. It could be you talking to your brother. Your sister could be a
Word.
therapist, your mom, just somebody that's going to help you make, or, what I'm saying, make the next best decision, or take that step to heal yourself, for self-healing. You would never get to happiness or serenity and peace in life unless you practice self-healing. You know what I'm saying? And
Oh boy, you better
you
preach.
could explode. You could explode. Somebody could go
Word up.
outside and one little thing, you could just be bottling in all that hurt. And the wrong thing, somebody handle you the wrong way in the gas station, you could flip out, and it doesn't even have nothing to do with that situation. So it's important to get that out of you.
And so I don't know, you probably don't know my story, but my dad killed himself when I was a baby. And
Oh,
then
no, I'm so sorry to hear that.
thank you. I appreciate that. And I had a really storied career. I was head of marketing for music for many years, for a lot of labels. And then I started experiencing a lot of stress and anxiety. And in 2014, my best friend took her own life. And then I came close to taking my own life in 2015, which is why I do what I do now, trying to help as many people. And then last year, I lost my sister unexpectedly. And so I've been like grieving the loss of her. It happened out of nowhere. And I know you've experienced a lot of loss. Like, do you have any advice for anybody that's coping, or even in your generation, with the loss of loved ones? Because I know we talked about being desensitized, but
Yeah.
is it anything that helped you kind of get through that?
Now the first thing, I was addicted to drugs. I used to take pills and I used to drink lean and smoke weed. I've been addicted to all that stuff since I was like 15 years old. And
Mm.
I thought self-medicating was the way for me to, get over these things and escape. But that's
And the
really
cope.
just, yeah, it's really just prolonging the problem, to be honest, because when I'm back woke again and I'm sober the next day, I want to do these same things again because the hurt is still there, and I've been there. I haven't been really close to suicide or anything, but I've literally left out the house and knowing that every day I leave the house, I could die or go to jail. And I was willing to do so. And I heard, I was watching like an interview a long time ago with Meek Mill saying he never really understood how somebody from Iran or those guys from ISIS could just strap a bomb onto themselves and willingly get on a airplane or anything like that and risk their life and sacrifice their life. But he said he understood better when he got older and being in the streets, because it's the same thing we did, because it's like a religion almost. It's everything we see and know growing up, and we're willing to make these sacrifices and knowing that death and jail come with this. It's the same thing that they're doing, just in another form.
Mm-hmm.
um and I for me, I felt like self-medicating was the way to do so. I used to leave
Yeah.
out and I'd be high, and I got a sister and a brother, and I love my mom, I love my grandma, I love my entire family, but I was really willing to go outside and die for my beliefs. Being in the streets, I was willing to go outside and meet my demise. So that kind of is being close to suicide, because I know I'm putting myself in a line of fire every day. One of my
Yeah.
best friends just died, and I'm going on the same block that he died on, and I'm willing to have to protect myself and go do 100 years and be mistreated in
Yeah.
jail for something, what I'm saying, that was just my belief at the moment. So I would really tell the youth to lean towards your fears. Everything that you're going through is for a reason, and it might sound hard, it might be tough, but I feel like everyone has a story, a tough story, and someone may be going through something much worse than you're going through, what I'm saying? So me, I just lean towards all my pressure, and I think that's the reason why I'm here today. Everything that I ever been through in life, I lean towards it. And when I've been at my lowest points, I just never gave up. I always had a strong mind and just had faith that I'm going to get to that next level in life. And that's what got me there. It wasn't doing drugs. It wasn't
Yeah.
running away from my problems. It was really getting to my lowest point in life and really just sticking through it.
No doubt. I appreciate that. And I tell people too, prioritize your relationships. Try to lean on people that will support you and won't
Yeah,
judge you.
absolutely.
I think that's real important, because we got a lot of yes people that really
Yeah,
don't fuck with you the way they should.
yeah.
They just kind of want to be around you because of who you are.
No, I'm so
But like,
glad you
be
said
around the
that.
people that really love you, like your family and your friends that's been
Yeah.
down for you.
If I didn't have that, it definitely would have been tough for me to get through a lot of the stuff that I've been through. People who've been in my corner that really never judged me and that just
Yeah.
helped me make the best decision for me. You know what I'm saying? And I think if I didn't have that, I probably would have made a lot of the wrong decisions. And people, that you feel it in your heart, the people who with you genuinely, you feel the people who aren't with you genuinely, you know what I'm saying? So you
Yeah.
can't really second guess that. You got to follow your intuition. And that's one of the reasons why I'm talking to you on, what I'm saying, this live
Yeah.
today, because I always follow my gut instinct, and I made those tough decisions to, do what was best for me. And the people who love me understood me making those decisions. You know what I'm saying? So you got to have people in your corner like that for
No
sure.
doubt. And I thank you for going with your gut and even taking a chance on me. You didn't know
Yeah.
me, but
No,
that means
absolutely.
a lot, man. That means a
Absolutely. So now that means we could do this whenever.
Absolutely. I only got 2 more questions for you, because I know you got a lot going on. So I created this Yeah Wellness platform, and to me, it's about mind, body, and soul, and business. You have any tips that you can share for like artists or entrepreneurs? And I know you have your new